Breaking news right now. A body found in South Fargo. Police spent much of the night at the scene near Main Avenue in Fargo. And that's where we find the Valley Today's Brian Sherrod. He joins us live this morning with what we know at this point. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Lisa. Well, what we know so far was that officers responded to the back of the M&H on the Main Avenue around 9 p.m. last night for a disturbance. Now, when they got here, they actually found a body found in this area, in the grassy area that's located around the area behind me. What we can tell you is that they're not sure if the body is connected to this disturbance, and they also said that when they made the contact with the initial people who did call for that service call, they weren't cooperating, so they're not providing information as well. So this is the information that we have so far. We're supposed to get some more information coming up pretty soon, but we'll keep updating you once we receive the latest.
Brian Sherrod reporting live on this breaking story. Thank you. Police were watching for trouble as hundreds of protesters hit the streets of Minneapolis again last night after former police officer Derek Chauvin was released from jail. Chauvin is the officer seen in a video from last May with his knee on George Floyd's neck for nearly 8 minutes. The incident sparked riots in Minneapolis and other cities all across the country after Floyd died. Protesters last night were mostly peaceful, but as some grew more aggressive, state troopers started moving them out of the area and had to make several arrests. Chauvin made his $1 million bail yesterday morning and was released from the Hennepin County Jail. Governor Tim Walz activated the Minnesota National Guard in case of riots. Chauvin is facing murder charges for Floyd's death. 3 other former officers are also charged in connection with the incident and are also out of jail. They're scheduled for trial in March. Police have now identified a North Dakota man who died when he was run over by 2 cars. It happened Monday night near Sawyer, out in western North Dakota. The Highway Patrol says 70-year-old Russell Landfear of Minot hit a deer while driving his motorcycle. He was thrown from his bike and landed on the highway. He was then run over by 2 cars coming in the other direction. New this morning, firefighters are keeping an eye out for hot spots after a garage fire at a duplex in Grand Forks. Crews were called just before 8 last night to the 1900 block of 23rd Avenue South and found smoke coming from the roof and flames inside the building. One garage has fire damage. Both duplex units have smoke damage. People living in those units were displaced for the night. It's now 6:51, and it is a frosty start to our Thursday morning. But Lisa, it sounds like we're going to rebound nicely.
Yeah, one of those days where we have some heaters going in the cars to start off and then rolling down the windows heading home from work here as we head into the afternoon. And it's a pretty start. Nice and quiet out there as we're looking up to the east this morning on our First Alert Skycam in Fargo. And temperatures, well, they're cool. We've got some places that are below the freezing mark, and one of those spots is Bemidji. Northwest Minnesota, definitely the focus for some of our coldest temperatures. And in Bemidji, we're at 30 degrees right now. Fargo, Grand Forks, both at 35. Fergus Falls is at 39. Jamestown, 36. And in northeastern North Dakota, stretching over to Grand Forks now, there are a couple of clouds starting to move in as well. So, in those areas where temperatures are near or below freezing, might want to give yourself a little extra time to get the car started if you want a nice toasty inside, or maybe even a little bit of a scrape needed here this morning, or the defroster going to, with the potential for some frost here in some of these areas. And here's a look at some of those temperatures. We're looking at some sub-freezing numbers up in the northeast yet again. A little milder to the west where those clouds have taken over. Wind is turning southerly, and that's going to be the difference maker today, along with some early October sunshine too. But here's a look at your radar and satellite map. We've got mostly clear skies for about 3/4 of the valley. It's northeastern North Dakota where we're looking at those clouds that have taken over, and maybe even a little bit of sprinkle activity up around Langdon, Cavalier County, that area here to start off the day today. So today, expect some partly cloudy skies, some areas getting more sunshine, other places seeing a little more cloud cover for a few hours today. And as we head through the hour, or through our hourly planner, expect to see those temperatures that are going to be dipping back into, or warming up rather, into the upper 60s. So it'll be nice and warm, but just watch out. That wind's going to pick up here and start blowing some of those leaves around. And speaking of, we are starting to near or pass our our peak for fall colors. So now's your chance to get out and take in that beautiful color out there. And we've got some good weather for it the next several days. We're warming up on Friday, back into the 70s, lots of sun. Saturday looks great too. And then Sunday, first part of the day good, but then that next system starts to move in. So a few days left here of some really great weather.
I feel like we're getting away with something. This is great fall weather. Thank you, Lisa. With the new COVID-19 protections in place, Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris held their one and only debate last night in Salt Lake City. The candidates clashed over the Trump administration's handling of COVID-19. Harris says the American people have witnessed the greatest failure of any president in history. But Pence says from the very first day, President Donald Trump put the health of America first. Minnesota state lawmakers are heading back to St. Paul on Monday for a fifth special session of the year. Governor Tim Walz made the call yesterday and says his intention is to extend by another 30 days that peacetime emergency that he declared at the start of the pandemic. He says the extension will ensure that the state can react quickly and effectively to the pandemic.
The United States has not handled this correctly. And here we sat, the most infected nation, the most deaths, and the slowest to recover from it. There are things that you can do. The virus is going to do what it's going to do, but our behaviors can impact that.
Minnesota reported 918 new COVID cases yesterday and 14 new deaths. As far as the state's mask mandate, the governor says it all depends on the virus, but suggests it will be in place for a while. North Dakota is reporting 24 new deaths related to COVID-19 and nearly 500 new cases. In Cass County alone, the latest new case count is 134. The latest deaths reported did not all occur in one day. There was a lag in reporting to the Department of Health. State officials say out of the 24 deaths, 8 happened Tuesday, 4 on Monday, 6 on Sunday, and the remaining 6 between 4 and 7 days ago. Those who died were people in the age group of 40s to their 90s. The city of West Fargo is hosting a virtual COVID-19 information session tomorrow. It's going to happen at 10 in the morning with infectious disease specialist Dr. Paul Carson. It will be aired live on Facebook. Dr. Carson will provide information on COVID-19 safety actions recommended by multiple public health organizations, including the North Dakota Department of Health and Fargo-Cass Public Health. Now, if you have some questions, you can submit those by emailing it in westfargo.events@westfargond.gov. To attend, you can do that from home or really wherever you are. Just follow the Zoom instructions on the City of West Fargo's website. Minnesota's driver and vehicle services are offering their Class D knowledge test online starting today. You can now take your test at home. It allows Minnesotans to upgrade, remove a restriction, and even endorse their current CDLs. This will include commercial and standard driver's licenses and seasonal farming ones. Renewing or replacing driver's licenses can happen online as well. Minnesotans will even be able to take a test to receive their learner's permit. They will need to book their test appointments online at least 6 weeks in advance. Take a look at this bold act. In broad daylight, no less. A young girl goes up to a North Fargo home along 9th Avenue and University Drive and grabs that Donald Trump flag. You can see she had to pull on it several times before tearing it down and then taking off. The flag belonged to David Carroll, who says this is the third time he's going to have to replace his Trump flag.
I feel like it's my privilege to fly what I want on my house. But other people think otherwise because they come and get my flag all the time.
This kind of stuff has been happening a lot more in the FM area. This time, the thief left behind evidence, a bicycle, which Carroll says he now has inside his house. He says if the girl wants her bike back, she's going to have to bring back the flag and replace his pole. Police say if an adult is caught stealing a flag, they could face a $500 fine. Lock it up and close your doors. That's the word from Fargo Police, who say car and garage break-ins are spiking around town. They posted a map on their Facebook page showing where the calls to service were last month and where the trouble was. They counted 113 vehicle break-ins and 94 garage burglaries. Both numbers are up from this same time a year ago. Police say it's the same thing that people have been warned about for years, but for some reason they still seem to forget. And according to police, most of these burglaries were crimes of opportunity where thieves took advantage of unlocked or open doors.
It was I thought my garage was closed. I did hit the button. It should have been closed. I thought I locked my vehicle. I usually do, or I accidentally left the door unlocked this one time. And unfortunately, all it takes is one time for someone to become victimized.
Police are urging everyone to make sure their vehicles and garages are locked before leaving them alone. And how about this? Just wait for your garage door to completely close before you leave, and pull on your door handle to make sure your vehicle is locked. Fargo police are now asking businesses to post this picture. It's, of course, of a missing Fargo man who we've been talking about for several days. He has dementia. 80-year-old Robert McKinnon walked away from Mapleview Memory Care in South Fargo last Thursday night. Police say they've searched on foot with a drone and a helicopter, and they're also asking property owners now to check their garages, sheds, vehicles, campers, any place that McKinnon might have gone to seek shelter. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. 58% of men say they go to bed on a regular basis without doing this. Not as big a deal. They don't wash, or they don't have makeup on. They don't need to wash their face. Remember, you can play along every weekday morning by heading to our Valley News Live Facebook page. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. We have more live up-to-the-minute news and weather for you, including our breaking news right now on the Fargo CW.